Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. C's almost nearly weekly message for you. Just wanted to let you know that we have a very interesting topic available for us regarding communication. Could very well be one of the most crucial touch points of leadership. Why? The same thing we've been talking about leadership with having a leader and a follower, a manager and a subordinate, it's in partnership. Communication's the same thing, and I don't think we often think of it that way. The sender has to do their part so that the receiver can do their part. Have you ever sent a message, and I had this happen to me once, that it was one sentence and someone absolutely went off the rails, and you looked at that one sentence going, how did they get that from this? The idea is to avoid leaving questions of perception in the mind of your receiver. When we receive or when we send, there's no guarantee that those who have received the message have received it as we intended it. And often this leads to all kinds of heartburn and heartbreak and confusion and drama and conflict and all kinds of things. So I want to let you know, just as a follower has to be in partnership with the leader, so does the receiver have to be in partnership with the sender. It's not enough to have one-way dialogues. I'll give you a couple of examples. We often use email as a panacea of it's easy, it's quick, I can send it out and now I'm off the hook. Not so fast. The idea of email is just like we've been talking all class, the most effective message or the most effective tool for the most effective outcome. Email might not be the most effective communication channel. We have all kinds of things. I'm doing a one-way video for you right now. That means I can talk. I'm assuming you're going to listen. I'm hoping that you're going to respond. But it's not a communication that offers a synchronous dialogue. It's a one-way push-out. That's the way email is too. Email is a response. But how do you know that someone has read it? Just because you've sent it, there's no guarantee. You can check your sent folder all the time, but there's no guarantee that someone has read it or received it or read it or understood it. That's my point. Is I have things that get stuck in spam all the time. I have somebody right now, I'm communicating with one of my clients from Canada who's not understanding my message. And I'm not sure what clarity she lacks because she's coming to a different conclusion than I intended. So was it the wrong words I used? She's emotional about something she thought she read. All kinds of things could happen. But that's the same thing that happens with text. Text is probably the most inefficient medium sometimes because there's no emotion that can be conveyed. You can say 3 words and you can have different emphasis. You can't have any of that in text. You don't know how the emotions. You'll notice in class I try to put little emotion tags in there so you have some idea if I'm being sarcastic, if I'm giving you a little wink, if I'm being a dramatic pause. Some of that is lacking from communication aspects. So it just as we look into our leadership toolbox, using the most effective tool for the most effective outcome, so should we have a communication toolbox. Text, email, video, phone, Zoom, in person, on stage. There's so many different communication options. Just because we can doesn't mean we should. Something to think about. Oh, sure, CYA is very easy. When you send out an email, it's like, hey, I did my job. I sent out the meeting for the invite for the meeting. I'm off the hook. Are you really? What's the game plan? What's the end game? If the point is to send out an email because you want people to come to your meeting, I want an RSVP. I don't want to get to my meeting and realize some people haven't showed up. I have taken to being able to, even a read receipt on email is not enough. Just because they may have read it, no guarantee, doesn't mean they understood it. So there's a call to action with all communication that we have to really get into everyone's head here, is to be able to say, how do you know that what you said to them with whatever medium they used was understood as you intended? Not so easy. So I want us to think about these things this week. So just again, observation, don't let anyone know you're doing it because the Hawthorne effect will kick in. Everyone's behavior often changes if they know they're being watched. Just pay casual attention, situational awareness, good leadership practice. But I want you to watch how people communicate. Most of the time it's a one-way dialogue. And then they wonder why people get mad at them. Particularly text and email can be dangerous. Text is a really good thing. Hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Hey, I'm running late. Not a good thing to fire someone. I've actually had my employment contract of over 20 years for a university that was downsizing send me an email. Email after 20 years of service. I called them and said, surely irate, at least a phone call. Not even a thank you. They never even returned my phone calls. To me, that's the coward's way out. They didn't want the conflict. They didn't want people to go off the rails. They didn't want to have to deal with emotions. So they sent out an email and say, hey, we did our part. You're now off the hook. You no longer work for us. Good luck with that. Wow. That happens more than you think. The question I have for you this week is, what kind of a leader do you want to be? The outcome can still be the same. My job disappeared with that university. But how they did it will forever live in my heart because no one remembers what you said. They always, always remember how you made them feel. Choose the most effective communication medium to be in partnership with your receiver for the most effective outcome. I'm going to talk about this in class this week. See you soon. Bye.